only see people with Down syndrome as a person that's mentally handicapped. However, I see people with Down syndrome as very unique individuals. In fact, one of my best friends has Down syndrome. Down syndrome has many positive and negative effects. Many times it is obvious when a person has Down syndrome. They look a little different, act a little bit different, and perceive the world differently than a normal person would. However, people with Down syndrome are not much different than a normal person, other than the fact that they have a slight chromosome disorder. The average IQ for a person with Down syndrome is 40 to 54, and that is only moderately mentally handicapped, according to About Down syndrome and nursing. People with Down syndrome should not be considered mentally handicapped. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder, has some causes and many more effects. Down syndrome is also known as trisomy 21, and is a specific congenital abnormality of chromosome number 21, which means instead of having a normal chromosome pair, as seen in this diagram right here, chromosome number 21 has an extra chromosome. It is the most common genetic disorder. In fact, 1 in 700 to 1 in 1,000 individuals are born with this disorder. That is according to a study of abnormalities in Down syndrome. The characteristics of those individuals born with Down syndrome are often their speech and physical movements are not normal, and their memory is very altered. Down syndrome occurs in many ways, and there's only one major cause, which is the chromosome disorder. The causes are very questionable, and they are not treatable at all. Once born with the syndrome, an individual will have it for the rest of his life. It is almost impossible to detect Down syndrome. However, there are some factors that lead into individuals being born with Down syndrome. Children that are born to older mothers are at a higher risk for getting the disorder. There are also diseases related to having Down syndrome. Musculoskeletal abnormalities, a weakened immune system, and hypothyroidism are all effects of having Down syndrome. The causes of Down syndrome are not as clear as the effects of Down syndrome. The effects are very evident. There are many signs when looking for those with Down syndrome. Obesity is a very common sign. This is due to the hypothyroidism that often occurs in those with Down syndrome. Most people with Down syndrome are perceived to have personalities that are very negative, and they have mood swings. However, according to About Down syndrome in nursing, they are actually very charming personalities in most people with Down syndrome. You can tell when you see a person that has Down syndrome, their physical appearance, their facial features, their hands and feet are not as normal as a person without Down syndrome. And one of my friends, Mike Morton, as I introduced in my introduction, has Down syndrome. And Mike shows a lot of things that are common with people with Down syndrome. He has a lot of mood swings. He seems very happy some days, and other days he likes to cry a lot and doesn't get along and doesn't talk to people. These pictures are of when he's very happy, obviously. Mike really loves his life most days, and one thing I've learned from Mike is that, back to the beginning of my speech, that he is actually very intelligent. He's just not able to communicate that very well. He has a very good memory. He remembers people's first and last names, and there's a lot of people that he has met. He can do normal things that most people would. He just can't do them as well, such as playing basketball with the team where I met him. And he speaks when he wants to. He just has problems communicating effectively, and that's a lot of the factors that Mike shows when Down syndrome took over his life and he ignored it. As you can see, there are many positive and negative effects in Down syndrome. Another one is families often get depressed, especially parents of those with Down syndrome. However, that is declining just because of programs in schools that allow people like Mike to succeed in life. For those of you that thought negatively about Down syndrome, I hope this speech has opened your eyes to the wonderful people in this world with Down syndrome.